Hebrews 8, verses 6 and 7. But now he has obtained a more excellent ministry, by as much as he is also the mediator of a better covenant, which has been enacted on better promises. For if that first covenant had been faultless, there would have been no occasion sought for a second covenant. Jesus is not only a better priest, which we saw yesterday, in fact, the only perfect priest who negates the need for any further priests. In addition, he also administers a new and better covenant. The covenant was the arrangement that God had with his people before Christ came. It spells out how they relate to one another. And here's the comparison of that old covenant with the new and better covenant, as the author of Hebrews quotes from Jeremiah chapter 31. And I'm going to read verses 8 through 13 of chapter 8. For finding fault with them, he says, Behold, days are coming, says the Lord, when I will effect a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not like the covenant which I made with their fathers on the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt. For they did not continue in my covenant, and I did not care for them, says the Lord. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, says the Lord. I will put my law into their minds, and I will write them on their hearts, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people. And they shall not teach everyone his fellow citizen and everyone his brother, saying, Know the Lord, for all will know me, from the least to the greatest of them. And I will be merciful to their iniquities, and I will remember their sins no more. When he said a new covenant, he has made the first obsolete. But whatever is becoming obsolete and growing old is ready to disappear. The old covenant was imperfect because it was outward. It was based on rituals and ceremonies that had to be performed. It was a copy of the real thing. We'll speak more about that next week. It was temporary, and therefore it had to be repetitious. Ceremonies and sacrifices had to be repeated day after boring day. And it didn't really perfect the people. It just covered over their sin. But the new covenant, administered by Jesus, our perfect high priest, is permanent, based on his once and for all sacrifice of himself. Because it was sealed with his blood, the new covenant does remove sin. Here's verse 12. For I will be merciful to their iniquities, and I will remember their sin no more. The new covenant is inward. It's of the heart. I will put my laws into their minds, and I will write them on their hearts. And it accomplishes God's great goal of forging a people for himself with him as their God. I will be their God, and they shall be my people. And they shall not teach everyone his fellow citizen and everyone his brother, saying, Know the Lord, for they will all know me, from the least of them to the greatest of them. So now back to verse 6. But now he has obtained a more excellent ministry, by as much as he is also the mediator of a better covenant, which has been enacted on better promises. Jesus carries out a more excellent ministry, he mediates a better covenant, and he fulfills better promises.